Retirement planning and pensions in Ireland pensions has become almost a dirty word for people over the years. The reality behind pensions is, if I could get one message across to anybody when it comes to trying to plan for retirement and when it comes to the word pensions, is to realise that it's all about tax. It's all about tax avoidance and making sure that you pay as little money as possible to the revenue during the course of your career, and as you save as much of that tax as possible, and that's the money that you're going to spend in retirement. When it comes to the safety blanket that is retirement and the state pension, a huge number of people in Ireland look towards the state pension as their source of income. But the state pension in Ireland is currently €12,000. Now, when I put this in perspective for you, in Ireland today there's 4 people working for every 1 person that's retired. Now, in 25 years' time there's going to be 2 people working for every 1 person retired. That means there's half the amount of people paying tax and there's twice as many people retired. So, the reality is that already the €12,000 a year that the state provide as a state pension is already one of the highest in Europe. There's only going to be one solution when it comes to what the successive governments over the next 20 years are going to do. They're going to cut those rates and they're going to push the age further out. It's already going to 67 and 68 in the next 15 years. So I can only see one thing happening. It's really, really important that you understand that there's a huge amount of tax that can be saved between now and the end of your career, and it's really important that you don't look at one particular product or one particular provider. It's really important that when you're planning for pension that you really sit down, because there's important decisions to be made. When it comes to retirement, there's plenty of options, and they're important options that I would urge you strongly to get proper certified financial planning advice when it comes to any decisions regarding retirement. Bearing in mind that financial planning is all about results, and when it comes to pensions and retirement, and the type of questions I would get asked all the time, and the type of question that it's really important that you have at the forefront of your mind when it comes to retirement planning is, have you left an employer? If you've left an employer, it basically means that your old pension pot is still with your old employer, and it's important that you get control of that again. Is it easy for me to get involved in pensions? A huge problem with anyone trying to start a pension is they don't understand them, and what you don't understand you tend not to get involved with. But you can start as small or as big as you like, but the key question here is tax. How much tax can anyone save? When it comes to existing pensions, do you have a pension that's already invested in a PRSA or an executive pension plan? What are the charges? Who is it invested with? What's it invested in? How is it performed? These are all areas where, getting a little bit of advice and having a review of these things can save people a huge amount of money over time. When it comes to the actual event of retirement, there's massive decisions to be made. And what I mean by that is, do you take an annuity, a pension for life, or do you invest in an approved retirement fund? Who do you invest it with? What do you invest in? What are the charges again? So the one key message I try and give to anyone who's dealing with any sort of financial decisions is think about the results, think about where you want to get to, and let a professional, independent financial planner deal with the questions.